Hello and welcome to the Superintendent's Perspective. My name is Mario Salinas, Edinburgh Superintendent. Today I'm joined by Miguel Mike Parias, President of the Board. Today's topic is Senate Bill 15.
Very
Since
good.
we last spoke last week,
Mhm.
President Farias, the governor has signed the virtual learning option, uh, Senate Bill 15.
Yes, sir.
We're still waiting the last guidance from Texas Education Agency. However, we have started the planning process. We know it's going to happen. We're in the process right now of, and first of all, we are committed to offering this option to our parents.
Very good.
You know, as a board member, as a superintendent, I have gotten communication from parents through phone calls, through emails, and other forms of communication that are we going to offer virtual instruction, as you have.
Yes, sir.
At board meetings, we've had public comment.
Mhm.
Are we going to offer virtual instruction to our children?
Yes, sir. And we are going to offer it, and that's kind of what we're going to go by today as far as the parameters and who qualifies and prioritize and the limit. So why don't you share a little bit about that as far as the guidelines of the people that qualify?
Remote learning, sir, is good. It could be several different forms. It could
Okay.
be remote learning through paper and pencil at home, like we did last year in the spring.
Yes, sir.
Remote learning could entail sending a teacher to the home of the student. Remote learning could be the teacher teaching, and through a computer, the children at home are going along with the teacher.
Yes, sir.
Learning with the teacher.
Mhm.
That's called a virtual learning option. That's the route that Edinburgh is going to choose to go with.
Very good.
A virtual option where a teacher is teaching to a computer,
Mhm.
either at one of our district facilities or at home,
Okay.
and the child is at home learning from home.
Yes, sir.
Very similar to what we did last year.
Yes, sir.
Last year we had synchronous instruction where the teacher is teaching to a computer and the children are at home following along
Yes, sir.
with a school issued laptop or iPad.
Very good. And I know there's some academic parameters that need to be met for these individuals to qualify, correct? And these are set by TEA.
Yes. The Texas Education Agency is saying that, for starters, that they will fund virtual options to the school district up to 10% our student enrollment.
Which is approximately 3,100, about 3,100 individuals, correct?
For Edinburgh, our enrollment is at about 31,000 students. 10% of that is more or less 3,100 students. So
Very good.
the Texas Education Agency is saying that we'll fund up to 3,100 students for Edinburgh if to offer virtual learning. What does that
Okay.
mean? That means that that for every child that's at home that qualifies, and we'll go over the criteria in a bit, the Texas Education Agency will fund that child.
Very good.
The reason we weren't offering virtual options to this point is that the Texas Education Agency wasn't going to fund that option for us.
Yes,
And
sir.
they said we couldn't afford it. We
Yes,
couldn't
sir.
afford that option. But now that it's law,
Mhm.
and we know that the governor signed this bill, Senate Bill 15, I am sure the Texas Education Agency is developing policy and guidelines that they give us, the school
Yes, sir.
district. But it's coming, and we're planning for it, and we're in the planning phases. The Texas Education Agency is saying that in order to qualify for virtual option, the student must have passed the STAR test.
Okay.
The STAR test at the elementary or the end of course test at the secondary
Okay.
level. The child, also the student, must have passed all the foundation classes the previous year: reading, English, history, math, and science.
Very good.
If the child failed any one of those classes, or the student, they don't qualify for the virtual learning option per the law.
Okay.
That's not us. That's Senate bill. That's
Yes.
written in the language of the law.
Mhm.
If the child had, or the student had excessive absences last year, whether the child was going for in-person instruction or virtually learning from home, they don't qualify.
All
That's
right.
the criteria. Pre-K students don't qualify per the bill. So there are criteria that limits participation.
And this is all set by TEA.
Right now, it's set by the law.
Okay.
It's written into the bill,
Okay.
and I'm sure TA will follow the bill. They're not
Okay.
going to violate
No,
the
they're
bill.
not. No,
And
sir.
TA will craft our guidance. We take guidance from TA,
Yes, sir.
and but we know what the basic parameters are.
Yes, sir.
You can offer it, but in order to qualify, the child must meet this criteria.
Mhm.
You must have passed the STAR exams
Yes, sir.
that were given last year. Passed the foundation classes, all of them last year: the math, English, reading, social studies, science.
Okay.
The foundation classes. And must have had good attendance. Those are the basic qualifying criteria. Pre-K students don't qualify.
Okay.
You can imagine why they don't qualify. I mean, first of all, pre-K students are mandated by law to attend school.
Mhm.
That's number one. Number two, the big one is it's hard for a child, a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old, to sit behind a computer for 8 hours
Yeah.
listening to a teacher. It's difficult
Yes.
to maintain.
It would be very unfair.
Yes, sir.
You're very good.
Mhm.
And also, we are going to go ahead and look at this at a case by case also, correct?
The school district has a committee, a committee of staff that will review the applications, case by case by case.
Very good.
And I'm sure there will be some circumstances where students may qualify for a virtual learning option, even though they don't meet the criteria.
Okay.
For example, we may have a student that qualifies because they have a medical condition that makes them susceptible to COVID.
Yes, sir.
And they have documented that through doctors' documentation.
Mhm.
Well, that student may have siblings in our schools that may qualify due to the fact that child, those siblings can go to the school, pick up the disease, and bring it home.
Yes, sir.
So we don't want that. So we're going to take every application on a case by case basis. And
Very good.
sometimes we may have to forego funding in an effort to keep the family safe.
Very good, sir.
So one of very important, sir, Edinburgh School District has opted that since we're limited to 10%, 3,000 students, we have opted to open it to students that are in grades kindergarten through 6th grade.
Very good. And the reason why is because the vaccine isn't available for them.
That's correct.
Very good.
For those grades,
Mhm.
kindergarten through 6th grade, those 11 and under,
Mhm.
12 and 11 and under, they don't yet qualify for a vaccine.
Mhm.
Based on that logic, the student doesn't qualify for a vaccine. They're more, if they get COVID, they're more apt to get COVID
Yes, sir.
because they don't have the vaccine.
They're more at risk. So
They're
we
more
need
at
to-
risk. To put it simply, they're
Yes,
more at risk.
Okay.
And so we opted to have the option available to kindergarten through 6th grade.
So when can the parents apply?
The parents can apply now, right now.
Right now,
The
okay,
application,
good.
we put it online through Skyward
Okay,
on Wednesday.
okay, very
We
good.
also have, if the parent chooses to get a hard copy of the application,
Okay,
they can come to our central administration, 411 North 8th Avenue,
okay,
and pick up an application from Dr. Anthony Garza.
very good.
And they can pick up the application if they choose to go that route.
Okay,
Some parents may go the route of applying online,
okay,
but we recognize that not all parents are comfortable or may not have the resources for that option. So we're offering the option of go to central administration, pick up the application, and you can fill it out there, and and they can have assistance at central
Very good.
administration as well. Dr. Anthony Garza has those applications for those that want to pick it up and
Very
fill
good.
it in.
So we have two options. They could either do it online or come physically over here and pick up the application. And if they need help in filling out the application, we'll assist them with that also, correct?
Correct.
Okay, very good.
And I see families needing assistance in filling
Very
the
good.
application. Of course, I see that.
All right,
Also, what we have done, we have sent via text message to our parent, the one that we have on file. We sent a link indicating that information on the application, basic information on the Senate bill, and information about what we're talking about as well,
Very
so that
good.
we can get the message out to our parents that the virtual learning option is going to be offered in Edinburgh.
real good. Yeah, we need to get it out there and let them know. That's why, that's the purpose for the superintendent's perspective, is to take the opportunity like this to go out and let you all know about the availability of what we have to offer. So, we even have the phone number. I'm sure they'll put it up on the screen where you can call if you have to get additional information. And Anthony Garza is Dr. Anthony Garza is the contact. And so we're here to serve. And if you have any questions, just feel free to give us a call.
So the other thing that as soon as we get ready to start the program, we'll let our parents know. Right now, we're in the process of recruiting the teachers that want to teach a virtual learning option. Part of the Senate bill is that a teacher can't be teaching to students face to face, while at the same time teaching to students at home.
Okay.
Like what we did last year.
Yes, sir.
You and I went to visit campuses. You had teachers teaching to students,
Yes, sir.
while at the same time they were through a computer system, they were beaming themselves home. They were teaching students in class and students at home.
They had students on the screen and they had students in the class. So
That's
yeah,
right.
but
And they had that little gizmo where they had a microphone.
Yes,
where
sir.
They could hear them at home.
so that's not going to be available this year. So it's going to be 100% either teaching face to face or teaching remotely. Correct?
That's correct. And that's the law. That's not us.
Okay.
The law doesn't allow concurrent teaching to students live, face to face, while at the same time teaching to students remotely. It's not allowed. You either teach to the students face to face, or you teach to the students at home.
And we've already been working on reaching out to teachers for this. Correct?
That's correct, sir. And the law further says you can't force the teachers to do virtual instruction.
Okay.
You can't force them. It has to be the teachers voluntarily opted to go that route.
Okay.
So we're developing strategies right now in picking up our. First of all, we want to see how many parents are interested.
Okay.
We don't know. Parents realize that, and as we do, that face-to-face instruction is the best form
Yes,
of
it
learning
is.
that there is. Face-to-face learning. It's the best form of teaching that there is. I mean, you know that, I know that, parents know that.
Yes, sir.
So there are many parents that say, no, my children need to go to school. I don't, looking at the assessments from last year, statewide, nationwide, our children experienced learning losses,
Yes.
in all areas. And they were more acute in math. They were the significant learning losses in mathematics and in reading and in English. And that was 1 year, year and a half of remote learning.
Yes, sir.
So some parents are saying, no, not another year.
Yeah.
I'm going to stunt their learning growth. So many parents, the overwhelming majority of our parents, are sending the children to school. We have 31,000 students on our campuses.
Yes.
And
That equates to over 95% of our total enrollment. But there is that 5% that maybe doesn't have the luxury of that option. And they may have a child that is sensitive, or they may have a child that is compromised. So that's why we're going to be offering this now that it's available to us.
Yes, even though all parents know that face-to-face instruction is the best way to go, because it's not only for the learning but the social, emotional. We've talked about this before.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The skills, the social emotional, the depression, all of that. So parents know that. And so, yes, some parents still don't want to take a chance with their children catching COVID. They're not willing to go there. Some parents are like that. Yes, we have those parents.
Yes, sir.
That don't want to take that chance of sending their children to our schools because of the chance that they may get COVID. Even though, sir, most of our cases that we've had, and it is slowing down when this is week number 5 for us in school.
Yes, sir.
I know when we first started school, we had cases, COVID cases on campus from day number 1. First day of school, we had cases. That tells me that the children are picking up the disease at home.
That's true.
Out in the community, not in school.
Not in school.
They had been in school first day, so they didn't pick it up in school.
Yes, sir.
And we've had cases every single day, sir, but it appears to me that it's slowing down a little bit.
Very good.
As far as the COVID cases on campus, in our investigations, because we have to investigate all cases for the Texas Health Authorities, CDC, we have to follow through TEA.
Yes.
When we have cases on campus, we have to follow through some basic investigations, close contact, etc. Almost all the cases are coming from home.
And that's just a testament to the mask mandate and the sanitation and the shields and everything else that we're doing. So even though the kids are coming to school and they're passing themselves in the hall and they're eating and everything else because of the mask mandate, we're minimizing the spread of COVID. And that's just a testament of doing the right thing. And I'm glad that we did what we did, because I've heard of cases up north where schools had to literally be closed down because the moment they got together, they didn't take all the precautions necessary, and they spread it because they didn't do the mask mandate. So I'm glad that we did what we did, and they pick it up at other places, but here where we're mandating the mask, at least we can keep the children safe from picking it up or possibly spreading it. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
And it's good news to hear that things are kind of tapering down or tapering off. Very good.
We still have cases on campus, but they're not as prevalent as when we first started school. We're getting 20 cases a day or more.
Yes, sir.
It's slowing down a little bit. Some schools have never had a case at all.
Yep.
Of COVID. But the mask help. The procedures we have on campus help.
They sure do.
Mitigate the spread of the disease. Back to hiring staff. That's where we're at right now. We need to hire. When we get the applications in from our parents, we're recruiting teachers for virtual learning option. We're recruiting them. Yeah. Because we're going to need them. But we don't know how many we're going to need until we see the number of applications come in from the.
So we're doing both things at the same time. we're kind of gauging how many teachers we're going to need. So we're out there recruiting those teachers. So when we get the applications, we'll have a better idea. But I'm glad we're doing that so we can start it sooner than later.
Yes, sir. We need to, and hiring teachers right now it's not as easy as it used to be. There's a statewide teacher shortage.
There is.
And so we're looking for teachers every day that want to teach virtually. And we're as soon as we get our teaching staff, and the law also says that we need to train them. To train them to teach virtually, and
Yes, sir.
and of course we'll give them the equipment, issue the equipment that they need to teach virtually. We're looking at one group of teachers that we're looking at are retired teachers that we're asking them if they want to teach virtually from their own home.
Very good.
To a set of students. We're looking at teachers that are coming out of colleges right now that are looking for work, looking for jobs. We're recruiting some of those, or teachers out there that for whatever reason they don't have a job. So, and we're doing that.
Real good.
The last thing we want to do is recruit from our own campuses.
Yes.
Because right now what we want to do is keep our student-teacher ratios low
Yes, sir.
on campus.
Yes, sir.
We try to keep them under 18, 17 to 1, 15 to 1, 16 to 1. We really don't want our student-teacher ratios at above 20 students to 1.
Very good.
So that we can social distance in the classroom as best as we can.
Very
So
good.
we don't want to go the route of recruiting from our own ranks.
Yes, sir.
We want to exhaust every opportunity to hire teachers that are not currently teaching on campus to so that we can maintain our student-teacher ratios at those levels that we want.
Well, that's smart because the last thing we need to do is crowded classrooms because we don't have enough teachers. So that's of utmost importance.
I know that in visiting campuses, I know that even at the high school, the ratios of students to teachers is a good. They're good. You know,
Okay.
I went to North High School this week. I asked the principal to take me a tour of his facility because it's the school with the most students.
Yes, sir.
And the ratios were good, 15 to 1, 16 to 1, some even lower.
Very
I
good.
didn't see any classes with ratios above 20 to 1.
Very good.
At Edinburgh North. Perhaps there is, but I didn't see any
Okay.
there. And the principal, McCullough, says no, that the ratios are low.
Real good.
In most of the classes. So that being said, we're looking for teachers for a virtual option, and we're going to start receiving the applications. I would imagine beginning today, and then start reviewing them, and let's see how many teachers we're going to have to hire.
Very good.
Now, there, in speaking to our consultants, Mo Casey, there is no ratios, no set ratio for a teacher that's teaching virtually. It could be, since it's a virtual option, it could be 20 to 1 or 30 to 1 or more. But we don't want too many, right? But we could have a teacher with 30 third graders.
Wow.
Or we can have a teacher with teaching some foundation courses for sixth graders. You know, any number of them. There's no set ratio.
Okay.
You know, it could be 1 to 100. We don't want to go there, right?
Yes, sir.
It could be
Yes, sir.
if we had to go that route. You know, so
Well, that's a good option to have, especially under these times and circumstances. Real good. So what else have we got coming up?
so that is the virtual learning. It's the initiative right in front of us that we need to tackle, and it's going to take some resources on our part to get it off the ground, but we're working on it, and we're recruiting the teachers. When we get our teachers going, we'll get it off the ground.
Real good.
Also, sir, we continue to monitor COVID on our campuses.
Yes, we do.
It's still out there, and we, are vigilant Our nurses are testing our students that show symptoms to make sure that if they do have COVID, that we send them home in quarantine. And you know, there's a lot of questions from parents about, hey, I got a call from the school that my son was close contact. Now he has to quarantine 10 days, and they get into those discussions. For the parents that it's on our website, and you go to the main website, and there's a COVID, there's an area for COVID information, and they can go to that website, that button on our website, and they can get all the information. And there's a lot of questions on, why do my son have to go home? I mean, he doesn't have COVID. He was, in the same classroom, but not close. He was wearing a mask. All of that. And why 10 days or why 14 days or what, and so on.
And that's all explained on our website.
It is in
Okay,
Spanish
great.
and English. So that's also what we're trying to do with our parents that have many questions.
Okay.
And a lot of parents, they get a phone call that we're going to quarantine their children and they don't want them at home.
Yeah.
They say, no, I want my children in school. That's where they learn, or I need to go to work, and things like that.
Very good. And then we got some upcoming vaccination clinics.
Yes, sir. We continue to vaccinate our parents and our students, those that want it.
Okay.
I know that right now the students that are eligible are coming to vaccinate, and I think that's part of the reason why the COVID cases are slowing down a little bit, because parents want their children in school, and they're at school, and they want to keep them safe. And
yes, sir.
And if they hadn't vaccinated, now they're vaccinating them.
Real good.
So I'm guessing that every day there's more and more students and their parents getting vaccinated.
Good. I'm glad.
I went to Walgreens last week, two times to pick up medicine, and both times there was lines of parents with their children or themselves getting vaccinated.
Very good.
Vaccines are free with us, or they can go to Walgreens and they're free there.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. That's good to know.
The other items are that we're gonna start is the booster shots.
Oh, that's right. We are going to start the booster shots. When is that, in October?
We're gonna start in early October. We're gonna have community drives at the activity center in Edinburgh.
Okay.
On 2 separate Saturdays. I don't have the dates here, but we'll get the date out to our communities, where we're going to offer booster shot to our communities. And of course, we offer booster shot to our staff
Very good.
whenever they want it. I mean, we're licensed vaccine providers.
That's good. That's good. And that's very important, the booster shot. And I've come across several individuals that already got it. So if you qualify for that booster shot, I encourage you to go ahead and do that. Get that booster shot as soon as you qualify, and will be available the first part of October to help out to administer that. So that's good to know. That's very good to know.
Okay, sure. And then to wrap up our program, I do want to touch on our 3-year-old program, our
Yes,
3
sir.
and 4-year-old program. As to those of you out there that may not know, we offer a 3-year-old program for in our community, and they don't. There's no qualifying criteria except that you're 3.
Yes, by September.
By September. One of the things, sir, that I invite you to do with me is go onto our campuses and see for yourself what the teachers are doing with our 3-year-olds. And I said this last week, and I'll say it again. The first week of school, you go into our campuses, you go into a 3-year-old classroom, and I mean, there's chaos. I mean, the students they're babies, they're not used to the structure, they're not
It's
used
new
to
to everybody. It's new to the teachers, new to the
students,
kids.
new to
everybody.
to us as board members, superintendents. It's new to the principal, it's new to the teacher. It's new to the child.
Yes, it is.
So, I mean, it's a little bit chaotic, and I walked in there and said, man, the teacher's earning her money today. And I go back later. I went this week. I visited several campuses, and the first thing I tell the principal, take me to a 3-year-old program. And I tell you that the students have come, they're improving like a lot every week to week to week to week. I mean, they're
Yes.
sitting down like like a kindergartner or first grader sitting in class, they're listening to the teacher, they're looking at a video, they're following along. I mean, 3-year-olds.
And
know?
I think you shared with me that you shook one or you bumped one of them, and they all wanted to get bumped again.
Yeah,
They all wanted it, and they
all
also asked, "What is this?" Referring to your tie.
Yeah, that's right. They went, what is that? They were looking at a tie, you know. And then,
So I mean, they're so curious, and it's so cool to see that they're getting together, and we're already seeing the positive effect of only in 5 weeks of when they first came in, it was chaos, but now they're all sitting in order, asking questions, participating, and that's exactly what we wanted to do.
they're communicating with each other.
Yes, sir.
They're playing with each other.
Yes.
They're asking questions. I was a visitor. They weren't afraid of me. They were asking me questions.
Good.
I mean, man. I was telling the principal, the parents could see this, man. They'd be really thrilled.
Well, I'm
you know?
sure it translates when they go home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the parent sees the difference already.
Yeah.
So, and that's only on week 5. And I look forward to going with you to these elementaries and checking out the 3-year-old program.
Yes, and right now they don't have a lot of them don't have, the 3-year-olds don't have the stamina to stay after school and continue to develop socio-emotionally and develop intellectually. But as they get stronger and they build the stamina, we even gonna do even better things.
That's great.
With a 3-year program, and we're up over 800 students.
Very good.
With a 3-year
Very
program,
good.
so we're proud of the teachers that are out there learning as we go, and we're proud of our campuses, and we hope that our parents are pleased with what we're trying to do with the 3-year-olds. We think that is probably one of the best decisions we've done this school year, deciding to open our doors to 3-year-olds.
Very good, sir. Mm-hmm. Well, that's exciting. I look forward to going and visiting elementaries with you.
Yes, sir. That's what we have for today's Superintendent's Perspective. We'll see you next week. Thank you and for joining us, and stay healthy and stay safe.